Good evening, call the council meeting in order. Please rise and place your flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I ask you please remain standing for a moment of silence for all our military personnel serving abroad and in the United States, as well as Stu Brandow. Anyone that knows anything in this township knows Stu. Served in two separate branches of the government, passed away last week. I know Councilwoman Meehan will touch base a little more on that, but just keep his family in your thoughts, please. Thank you. Mr. Mitch.
Notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Law has been satisfied during this meeting. The owners to be able to present to the public the notice on January 10th, 2025. A copy of the schedule is posted on the municipal bulletin board and instructions so noted in the minutes of this meeting. Councilman Anderson. Here. Councilman Bauer. Councilwoman De Jesus. Councilman Ficarra. Here. Councilwoman Meehan.
Here.
Councilman Patel. Councilman Small. Here. Vice President McCullough.
Here.
And President Scott.
Here.
Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from April 1st, 2025?
Motion.
Second. Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Beginning with second reading ordinances this evening, we're going to take A and B by consent. All of these are with regards to Chapter 7, traffic ordinances and handicap parking. The first is to delete a space on Camelot Drive. The second is to add a space on Marina View Drive. With that said, can I get a motion that these two ordinances be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be opened?
Motion.
Second. Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letters A and B only. There are no comments from the public. Can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion.
Second. Questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Letter C is an ordinance amending Chapter 11 entitled Animal Control. This is with regards to keeping and control of non-domestic animals. Can I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be opened?
Motion.
Second. Any comments or questions from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Mr. Mitch, I'm sorry. Mayor, I believe you have a statement you'd like to read
Thank you,
regarding
Council
ordinance.
President. Tonight, we would like to once again state the reason behind our proposed ordinance to amend an ordinance passed in 2007 entitled Keeping and Control of Non-Domestic Animals. The original ordinance was in response to residents harboring farm animals on their properties before Sequest ever moved to Woodbridge Center. It was never intended to apply to commercial entities, but once Sequest opened, we realized it did. Upon further legal review, we also realized that a local municipality cannot enact ordinances that override the authority of a higher governmental body, such as the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection or the United States Department of Agriculture, both of which oversee what is now the Woodbridge Aquarium. We have no overlapping jurisdiction with these governmental entities. Quite simply, our existing ordinance is not legal and must be amended to eliminate any oversight on our part of a commercial entity subject to a higher level of governmental review and oversight. We also cannot assume approval authority over any of the attractions of the Woodbridge Aquarium because we have no legal right to do so. We cannot tell restaurants what meals to serve, or department stores what clothes to sell, or a professional firm what clients to accept. We simply cannot tell the new owners what animals or what attractions they can offer, and we will not do so. If a business is operating legally with appropriate building and zoning approvals, we will not interfere in its operation. Attempting to exert that kind of control over a private business entity would likely lead instantly to litigation, and in the opinion of our attorneys, we would lose that case without question. We are not willing to spend thousands of dollars defending ourselves against an action that we believe is inappropriate, and we will not amend tonight's ordinance or take any other action to effectuate any suggestion to the contrary. Finally, regardless of the regulations in place, we just do not belong in the business of regulating farm animals, for which we have no specific education, training, or experience. A few months ago, when we agreed to check on these animals at Sequest, we had to hire a veterinarian at a cost to our taxpayers. Since we have no legal jurisdiction, we have no intention of doing this in the future. We have been asked to revoke the Sequest farm animal permit dozens of times over the last several months, and we chose not to for many of the reasons highlighted herein. Now we have decided to not issue a permit to the Woodbridge Aquarium which would seem to be consistent with the request to revoke the permit of Sequest, but we are met with a confusing and inconsistent response to the actions we have taken and not taken over the last several months. In summary, while we again respect the passion and advocacy of people who are interested in the well-being of animals, we are not the entity that can offer any solutions to ensure this well-being. The state through the DEP and the country through the USDA are the entities in control of this matter, and they should be contacted with any concerns or questions. We stand by the ordinance amendment we are considering tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to, again, say thank you for the clarification, again, on exactly what the township's roles and responsibilities are. I want to thank legal, the administration, health, all the parties, and the rest of my fellow council mates. Mr. Mitchell.
Thank you. Are there any comments from the public on letter C?
My name is Jignasha, and I'm from Piscataway, New Jersey. I just had a question that, so revising this ordinance, what would it mean for the animals that were under this permit?
We're,
Or, so basically, changing the ordinance to only be for residential.
Correct.
So what would it mean for the animals that were in Sequest under this permit?
thank you. Mr. Nolan?
It would mean nothing.
Yeah.
We came to the conclusion that we didn't have the jurisdiction to be involved in this area anyway. It was designed for residential use. It was not ever designed for commercial use. So all it's going to do is eliminate the process. So they will not get a permit because we don't believe we had the jurisdiction to issue permits in the first place for that purpose, for that specific purpose.
So, so then those animals, like, would they come under like the USDA
They've always come under the
or?
jurisdiction of, yes, they always have.
Okay. Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the public? Letter C.
John Vitale, Woodbridge. On the letter C again over here, the Woodbridge keeping and controlling the non-domestic animals. We talk about non-domestic animals. Are we talking about the deer? Are we talking about wild animals? How we do that?
Farm animals. Talking about not cats and dogs.
Well, not
Basically
domestic.
farm animals.
Well, but you said not domestic. That means it's wildlife.
You said that, I didn't say that.
Well, make it clear then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments on the letter C?
Thank you.
Hearing no other comments, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Letter D is an ordinance amending Chapter 2, Administration of the General Revised Ordinance of the Township of Woodbridge with regards to personnel. Can I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be open?
Motion?
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letter D only. There are no comments from the public. Can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion?
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. We'll also take letters E and F by consent. These are both applications for long-term tax exempt. The first with regards to the Mazda urban development, and the second with regards to active reference to Woodbridge urban renewal. Can I get a motion that these two ordinances be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be open?
Motion?
Second.
Any questions or comments from council?
Yes, Mr. Mitch, I'd like to abstain from letter E, please.
So noted. Any other comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letters E and F. E and F only.
Hi, Ken Gardner, 101 Scoter Avenue, Woodbridge. On letter E, can Councilwoman McAuliffe just explain why she's abstaining?
Yes, I am a business owner on Main Street in Woodbridge, and I do not want to be able to be involved to that because it could affect my business based upon what businesses are put in there and the residents that are coming in there. So that's why I'm abstaining. Thank you.
Okay. However, number 2 on your agenda is the Main Street SID.
Excuse me, Mr. Gardner, we're not talking about number 2. We're talking about letter E and F.
We're talking about the ordinance and why the councilwoman abstained.
She answered you.
Okay, I'll talk about that during the public portion if you don't want me to talk about it during the ordinance. Does anyone know how long Vito Mazza was on Main Street before they moved?
No.
Okay. A very long time. They've been a very successful business, a good business by, well, I don't go there myself, but only heard good things about the business. So I don't understand why we would be giving a tax abatement to a business that's been successful for years, and the other businesses aren't getting it as well. In addition, from talking to residents, it's pretty common knowledge that residents are overwhelmingly opposed to apartment building, any more apartment building that we've already had. And so giving tax abatements to build apartments just doesn't make any sense. On letter F, this is the property at Woodbridge Center, correct?
I answered you last meeting, Mr. Gardner.
Okay, just want to make sure. And the property is located basically right at the intersection of Route 1 and 9. It's got great access to all the roadways. And again, we're giving tax abatements instead of selling our town and letting businesses, or being good salesmen for our town, I should say, promoting the benefits of the town, the access that the town provides, all the benefits that we have. And so giving somebody a business a 30-year tax abatement when the residents are paying their full property taxes is unfair. Last but not least, I assume that the council will probably support both E and F, and I would ask that those ordinances be amended or a resolution be passed so that any money coming in from any of these pilot programs be set aside for a tax cut. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments from the public on letters E or F? Here are no other comments. Can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, all ordinances be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Letters G, H, I, and J are first reading ordinances. Can I get a motion by consent that the four ordinances be passed on first reading? Published in the home distributed on April 25th, 2025. The notice of public hearing to be held on May 6, 2025 at 6 p.m.
Motion?
Second.
Any questions or comments from council?
Yes, Mr. Mitch, I'd like to abstain from letter H, please.
So noted. Any other comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. And Mr. President, listed under resolution 1 through 34, if I can take those also by consent, please. I'd get a motion.
Motion?
Second.
Any questions or comments from council?
Mr. Mitch, I'll be abstaining from number 34.
So noted.
Mr. Mitch, I'll be abstaining from number 32 and number 34.
So noted. Any other comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. We'll now go to the public portion of tonight's meeting. When approaching the microphone, please state the name and the section of town or state that you live in. You'll have a one-time opportunity to speak up to 5 minutes. Please do not touch the microphone. The microphone is set. Everyone will hear you.
Glenn Morgan, Chairman of the Human Rights Commission, as well as a member of the Independent Club of Colonia, and also a member of the National Action Network. I'm here really to talk about DEI. And this is one of the last times you hear me refer to DEI as an acronym. That is because we have outside forces trying to turn it into DIE, pushing their own agenda in order to keep our society fragmented, as opposed to what it is actually. So I'm here to talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion. I don't know if you're aware that scholars and the National Bureau of Economic Research indicates that white women and veterans have benefited the most from diversity, equity, and inclusion. First, I'll break down diversity for you. Diversity is the presence of difference. It's one of the things that contributes to Woodbridge being the best town around. Our neighbors are black, white, Hispanic, Southeast Asian, East Asian, and more. We're Republicans, Democrats, independents, rich, poor, middle class, straight, gay, white collar, and blue collar. So when you say you're against diversity, be honest, which one of these groups are you against? Because to be against diversity means you're against the presence of difference. Now, equity. Equity is the meeting of individual needs. Things like sidewalk ramps for our neighbors in wheelchairs, smaller class sizes for students with learning disabilities, tutoring programs for students who underachieve, gifted and talented programs for students who need an extra challenge, meal accommodations in recognition of religious practices, translation services for those who need it, providing busing for students who live far from their school or can't get safely to walk to it, ensuring all students, no matter their background or identity, have a chance to see themselves in what they study and who has contributed to making this country great. So when you say you're against equity, please be honest. Which of these are you against? Because to be against equity means you're against meeting the specific needs of our neighbors. Last, we have inclusion. Inclusion is a practice of ensuring individuals, regardless of background or identity, feel valued, heard, and included in decision-making. It benefits everybody. Looking at course offerings to make sure that electives offered include things that students are actually interested in. Developing the cultural competence of the people teaching students and leading schools, which can lead to better relationships with students, parents, and the community. Inclusion is having this meeting here in person, but also streaming it live and posting it for playback so that community members can view or participate in a way that works for them. Things like the opportunity we have to speak at meetings like this, and the fact that even those with no kids in the district and people who don't even live in the township are allowed to speak. So when you say you're against inclusion, be honest, which of these things are you against? Because to be against inclusion means you're against ensuring our neighbors, regardless of their background
1 minute, sir.
or situation, are heard and valued. So no, I don't believe that most people are against diversity, equity, or inclusion. Even the ones who are most vocal, rallying against it. So I challenge you to learn for yourself what it is and what it looks like in our schools and community. Because if you did, you would be fighting to keep it, not lobbying to make it DIE. So thank you for allowing me to express myself. These are my feelings, not the Human Rights Commission's, okay, as a whole. And we have our meetings here monthly. I believe our next one is May 12th. And you're more than welcome to come there. And we can have even further discussion in reference to these subjects as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan, for coming up.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
Good evening and happy Earth Day, council members. I'm Samita Bairi, a freshman at J.P. Stevens High School in Edison. The last time I came to a Woodbridge Town Council meeting, I wasn't able to speak, but I'm here again because this issue is too important to stay silent about. Our environment is under a major threat, and I'm here representing the generations that have to live through the future that you're shaping today. We are in an emergency. Our planet is in trouble, and the signs are everywhere. Microplastics from the air and water are already in our blood, our organs, and even in babies. Sperm counts are declining. Climate change is accelerating, and biodiversity is plummeting. Toxic forever chemicals are showing up in our water and soil. These aren't just faraway issues. They're happening here in New Jersey, too. Think about it. What good is a thriving economy when you're living off of poisoned food and water? Now, I know that as members of this council, you really care about the environment because you spend hours each month attending these meetings, and that is something we are all grateful for. But I'm here today to ask you, the Woodbridge Town Council, to take a stand and endorse a state constitutional amendment that would put the right to clean air, water, healthy habitats, and a safe climate on par with the right to assembly, free speech, and other rights listed in the New Jersey Constitution. I urge you to join Metuchen, Franklin Township, Somerset County, Burlington County, and many other towns to pass a resolution endorsing the Assembly Bill ACR 119 and Senate Bill SCR 43, nicknamed the New Jersey Green Amendment. This bill has bipartisan co-sponsors, and I have physical handouts to pass around with more detailed information about this amendment. And I request you to look through this. The Green Amendment could be a ballot resolution in an upcoming election if both the New Jersey Senate and Assembly hold a hearing and approve it with enough support before the summer recess. It's no longer a small request. It's now a necessity. Not only are people paying the price, but voiceless creatures that have nothing to do with our economy are suffering the consequences of our negligence. Tell me, is that fair to you? New Jersey, the Garden State, has been a leader in so many ways, like passing the environmental justice law. Let's be the state that prioritizes a livable planet for the future and sets the example for the country. I know there are many environmental regulations out there, but this amendment offers protection at the highest level, the state constitution. Rules and regulations can be rolled back with nothing more than a signature. Think about that. Our trees, our lungs, gone with a stroke of a pen. Prioritizing the environment is so important now, since the federal government is actively dismantling environmental protections that took decades to establish. I am a member of the New Jersey Student Sustainability Coalition, which is a group of high school students throughout the state. We have been working to build support for the Green Amendment constantly for over 5 years. Everyone my age who pays attention to environmental news feels paralyzed watching critical protections being sacrificed. My question to you is, did you have to experience this when you were in high school? I like that the Green Amendment can prevent harm before it happens. And this could even be something your grandchildren would look up to you for, knowing that you took the opportunity to show that you care about New Jersey's youth and wildlife. New York voters passed a Green Amendment in 2021 with over 70% of voters. Having this amendment on the New Jersey ballot will bring people who care out to vote and will be very popular. Our residents also deserve to vote on whether a healthy environment is a constitutional right. Ultimately, we are the generation that learns about climate disasters in classrooms and walks out to find them at our doorstep. We are the generation growing up with wildfires in our headlines and smog in our skies. Show us that you will take bold action now when it matters most. This is Woodbridge's moment to build on the legacy of being a leader in sustainability, to show that you care not just about policies and numbers, but about us, the people, the youth of New Jersey, the generations that will inherit this planet. Let tonight be the moment where Woodbridge takes a bold stand, where you choose to lead, to protect, and to preserve by endorsing the New Jersey Green Amendment. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
Not as tall as her. Good evening. My name is Rachel Dawn Davis. Good evening, esteemed members of the Woodbridge City Council. I'm speaking today in my role as public policy and justice organizer full-time for Water Spirit, which is an eco-spiritual nonprofit based in Monmouth County, really not too far away. And also as a resident, I'm proposing these two items to Woodbridge, amplifying what Samita just shared. In addition to that, something else. One, an ordinance aimed at reducing waste and promoting sustainability within our community. And two, a resolution in support of a New Jersey Green Amendment. I respectfully urge the council to pass an ordinance to skip the stuff. And by the stuff, I mean this stuff that is probably in everybody's drawer. Nobody uses it, nobody really asks for it, and there is a remedy for this that many other towns are employing right now. This stuff gets stuck in our waterways. It gets stuck everywhere. We don't want it. Businesses are spending money on this. And having studied economics at Rutgers, we don't want to waste money. We want to be efficient all around. So the Skip the Stuff ordinance would incentivize consumers to bring their own reusable items. It would implement measures to basically minimize unnecessary plastic use in our local businesses, starting with common items like you just saw, straws, utensils, chopsticks, and to-go containers. So through fostering a culture of sustainability that Woodbridge has done for a long time, I've been hearing about you for a really long time, Sustainable Jersey #1, Manalapan, we are jealous of you. But this would not only improve Woodbridge's ecological footprint, and we know water and air know no bounds, but it would also contribute to reducing the negative impact on our beloved waterways, and again, aligning with New Jersey's, the statewide broader environmental goals. So not only would Woodbridge continue to lead in sustainability, but you would lead, again, the way for other municipalities and New Jersey as a state as a whole. I am here also urging the council to pass a resolution in support of the New Jersey Green Amendment. And I will share, I have sample ordinances. I had emailed all of you this morning sample ordinances for the Skip the Stuff, as well as a Red Bank case study that really just shows tremendous improvements. I think it was 97%. Businesses are not wasting money. Consumers are not needing this stuff. Our waterways are not suffering. It's a win, win, win. And so in addition to that, young people like Samita have been vying for this protection at the constitutional level, at the state level, for 5 years or more. And they are really seeking leadership from adults like you who are in positions of power. The New Jersey Green Amendment would enshrine the right to a healthy environment, as Samita said, clean air, pure water, a stable climate, and healthy environment for future generations. I've been wanting these rights for 20 years, and no law is ever going to be strong enough, including the New Jersey Environmental Justice Law, to actually be able to be applicable to grab hold of it at every single level of government, right? So if this is passed, local government, municipalities can take grab hold of their constitutional right. And so by passing this resolution, Woodbridge would join a growing movement that's actually across the whole country, but specifically in this state, to secure environmental justice, ensuring that every person, regardless of their socioeconomic status or geographic location, has the right to live in an environment that does not harm their health or well-being. The late Pope Francis's encyclical Laudato Si urges to all people, whether they are of faith or not of faith, quote, "We must regain the conviction that we need one another, that we have a shared responsibility for others and the whole world, and that being good and decent are worth it. We have had enough of immorality and the mockery of ethics, goodness, faith, and honesty," end quote. This resolution would not only reflect the values of your beautiful community, values that place a premium on environmental protection and sustainability, it would also send a powerful message to the state legislature. It would highlight Woodbridge Township's leadership in advocating for policies that are avant-garde, that prioritize public health and the preservation of our natural resources, which are foundational to both any local economy that could be thriving, as well as any quality of life at any point in that life, right? Whether you're retiring or a very young person trying to see a livable future, not really seeing one. So the Green Amendment is a vital step towards ensuring that future generations inherit a healthy environment, and by supporting it, you, decision makers today, can play an essential role in securing this legacy. And of course, because everything I'm working on is centered on water, Pope Francis said, "Access to safe drinking water determines the survival of people and the future of humanity. We are water. We need to save ourselves right now." Thank you for your attention and for your commitment to a greener and healthier, more sustainable New Jersey. I will hand out my materials and feel free to connect with me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
Mr. President, if I just jump in real quick. A number of years ago, we passed a resolution, I believe, that is called Health in All Policies. And our directors that are all sitting over there all had a say in it. And it's when whatever proposal, whatever resolution, whatever program that is being proposed, health is being considered, and environment is part of the health. So that was 2 years ago that we have done that, and we will continue to do that. I think that the points that have been made are very well taken, but I think many of the steps, we have our recycling program now with foods and restaurants. Councilwoman, you know
Yes.
that better than anybody. But I think they're in the right direction, but I also think we've taken some major steps and ahead of some of the other things done around the state. So I just wanted to mention that.
Thank you, Councilman Ficarra.
John Woodbridge. Well, finally it happened. We got a metal detector at 3 high schools. I think we played Russian roulette for a long time. And I think the person over here in this council chamber over here has a lot to do with it. And I want to extend personally thank you. Councilman Brian Small, I know you did a part of it, big part of it to make it happen. I think we should not just consider the Woodbridge High Schools, or Colonia, or JFK. I think we should go to the whole town, all the schools. Because if you know, each school has got a different problems, but if you're talking about the terrorists going to hit what is the weakest point. If it's going to happen, let's hope it not happen. But please take it seriously from now on. And Mr. Small, I want to thank you. It was kind of a lot of people know what was happening. You know what is happening. It was about time that we did it. No matter what the dollars are, I think it probably would be a great idea that certain corporations, new business come to this town. I know it's 25 schools. Put them, all the schools, going to be a lot of money. Maybe some of those people would be able to do themselves, contribute to put a metal detector in the schools. If you go to foreign countries, like I said before, I was in this situation in 1945 when I was born. In 1952, I started school. We had the schools locked. We had no metal detectors, but school was locked. Each student was checked before they get into school because we will hit in the soccer fields, we will hit with the children. If it's terrorists, they will go after the young children, not just the thing. And I want to congratulate everybody. It happened. It's everybody just easier because it was look at all over the country. Happens a lot. So I think it's going to help the thing. But as a technology, I understand it takes about 1 hour longer so kids go to school, check them out. At the technology, they don't have to use metal detectors like they do. I believe they have some kind of device that they can put 20, 25 feet away, see who's got weapons or anything like that. So let's look into it, because you don't want to let kids lose an hour of schooling because of it takes time to do it. Yeah. So thank you again. Another thing, Mayor said that Casby Park is going to be open December sometime. Our EP approval last couple of years. My question would be, did we get a phase 1 approval, phase 2 approval, and what takes us so long, and if it's going to happen or not going to happen? So please, could anybody answer it?
Regarding the Casby Park, I have that for you. Well, I have that for you, so I can't find it, but basically it all falls within, under the DEP. They're not ready. Mayor, if you want to touch on that?
No, that is accurate. We thought it would be open sometime in 2025. It does not look like it will be. It's out of our control, as I said, probably 12 times at council meetings. It's not in our control. It's under the auspices of the DEP and the federal EPA.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
Ken Gardner, Woodbridge. I left off before with council, through the chair, the Councilwoman McAuliffe. On your agenda, number 2, you have the Main Street SID, which your business is a part of. There was another item, I think, the transit. Did you also abstain on the rehabilitation and transit village?
Yes. What would,
You don't, you're good?
I answered yes. I did answer that.
It's not a Q&A, Mr. Gardner. She answered you under the under ordinance. It's not a Q&A session, it's a council meeting. Direct everything to the council
It's
president.
where the public comes to ask questions
Yeah, and
of their elected officials.
You
You're
are
saying-
absolutely right.
and
you
you're
asked,
saying that-
and I answered you.
Okay. So I'm asking how it's a conflict for her to vote on, or to not vote on the biggest issue in the ward, the redevelopment with all of the apartments, but she can include on her agenda the downtown special improvement district. That's the question.
Our agenda's not a vote.
I understand that, but if she's
The nature of a conflict would be not to vote, not to not speak about something.
so you can speak on the subject,
Of course, just can't vote on it.
okay?
So, Councilwoman McAuliffe, back to the ordinance. Can you give me your...
Mr. Gardner, you will be addressing the council president. You like to tell people
It's
that you're a
always-
council
it's always-
president.
it's always
30
through you,
years
Mr.
ago,
President. We
everything
never-
goes through
We
the
would never
council
go, we
president.
never go around you, Mr. President. I mean,
Well,
we
when
just
you say
wouldn't do that.
Councilwoman McAuliffe, everything gets
Well, simply
directed
because
to
I
me.
say her name doesn't mean it's not through you, Mr. President. It's always...
It's not a Q&A, sir.
Okay. So back to the ordinance. Through the council president, can the councilwoman give me her opinion on ordinance E and F?
No.
She abstained on those, so she's, doesn't care to give her opinion. The attorney said she's allowed to give her opinion. Are you, Councilwoman McAuliffe, are you in, to the chair, are you in favor of these two tax abatements, giving businesses 30-year tax abatements, and are you in favor of building the apartments on Main Street?
That's you. You asked the question, and that's it.
It's a conflict for me to answer the question, so I'm not going to answer the question. I've abstained on it since I didn't want to voice my opinion, and that's where I'm going to stand. I'm abstaining on that question.
Well, Mr. Nolan just said it's not a conflict for you to discuss the items.
It's not what I said, but she doesn't, she doesn't want to talk about it, she doesn't have to talk about it. She's not discussing with you. She doesn't.
Well, if she doesn't want to talk about it, that's fine, but that doesn't mean you said it wasn't a conflict, so I'm giving her the
He
opportunity.
said it was a conflict to be on the SID and for me to give my opinion. You're mixing the two together. So don't mix the SID and the ordinance. They're two, the resolution, they're two different things. So you're trying to mix the SID and the ordinance together. They're two different things, and that's what he's explaining to you. So you're trying to mix the two together, so please do not do that. Thank you.
Actually, I was bringing up two separate points. First, I said that you had the SID on your agenda, and it's something that benefits or your business participates, your business is taxed as part of the SID. And the other item was after Mr. Nolan said that you're able to discuss items, I was asking you for your opinion. Again, it's the biggest issue in the first ward.
Who says? Who says that, Mr. Gardner, excuse me, I'm sorry, who says it's the biggest issue in the first ward? Are you the God-all be-all of the first ward?
Is this a question and answer period between you and I, Mr. President? I mean, I'm happy to answer
Yeah,
your question.
exactly. We know why you're asking, but go ahead, Mr. Gardner.
I didn't hear what the attorney said.
That's between the attorney and myself.
Maybe you can hold your private discussions until after the public session of the meeting. to
Oh,
give
maybe
more
you could
time
stop
to
making
vote.
generalizations about what is the biggest issue in the first ward.
Well,
I'm sure we're going to hear about it over the next 6 months from you.
you know, Mr. President, Councilman Ficarra at the last meeting identified me as a council candidate in a disparaging way, I thought.
That's your opinion. Opinions vary.
Yes, it was my opinion, and that's why I'm speaking. It's my opinion. So all of you here have been candidates. I don't think it's a bad thing to be a candidate. That's a part of America. You know a lot of things about me. I mean, he knows I've been fire chief. I've been Irishman of the Year. I've been active in my church. Many great things. I don't just.
I know, you keep telling us that
Excuse me.
every meeting, Mr. Gardner, and your time is up. Thank you. Have a good night. Mr.
Are there any other,
Just try to be a little nicer, Mr. President. That wouldn't hurt.
That's me being nice, trust me.
any other comments from the public this evening? There are no other comments from the public. Can I get a motion to close the public comment portion?
Motion?
Questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you, Mr.
President?
I'm sorry.
Council President,
Mayor, I'm sorry.
if you don't mind, can I make some comments on what Mr. Gardner said about the pilots?
Absolutely, thank
He
you.
uses the term abatement, probably on purpose, because he wants to give the impression that these companies don't pay taxes. We all know, since we did our first pilot agreement in 1999, that these companies all pay a very significant sum of money in taxes to the town. A better word would be discount. Typically, a warehouse will pay 85% of the normal taxes for 10 years, 90% for the next 10, and 95% of the next 10. But it's a fixed percentage, so sometimes that percentage can go way higher. All that money comes into the town budget, not with any specific purpose attached to it, although we use that money specifically to pay the debt service on the school projects that we have done. One referendum in 2017 for 87 million, one in 2020 for 58 million, and one we're planning on now in 2025, which won't be a referendum, but we're still going through the numbers. It started at 78 million. Willow Terrace, we don't know what it'll wind up being. We'll have to make some adjustments to it. But for example, AccuReference in Woodbridge Center, which by the way, Woodbridge Center is far and away the biggest issue in the first ward and the biggest issue in the township, by far. It was a $220 million loan that was bought for $80 million, and now the whole future of that mall is being decided by the new owners and by us, and it dwarfs a couple apartments on Main Street. So if you want to know the biggest issue, not only maybe in the first ward, but in the entire township, right now it's Woodbridge Center. AccuReference Lab, which took over the Lord and Taylor building, is going to pay $18.5 million to this town over the next 30 years. That is a lot of money. The other project is, which is, what's that? Oh, Mazda, Vito Mazda, is going to pay $13.2 million over the next 30 years. So that is both are very significant numbers to our budget. We will have, in 2 years, $35 million from pilots in our budget. Right now, we have about 28, and we have a whole lot of stuff coming on board, including Sprouts, that mall there, including Metro Park, including a whole host of other projects. $35 million is $800 a house that residents don't have to pay because businesses are paying them. These pilots are so good for us, yet Mr. Gardner continually disparages them, probably because he doesn't understand them, probably because he uses the term abatement to deliberately mislead the people of Woodbridge Township. This money comes in and it's dedicated first to the debt service, and after that it pays for everything else, from every single item in our budget to our roads and sewers and parks to tax relief. Mr. Gardner doesn't like to admit it, but for 2 of the last 3 years we had a 0 tax increase. And he constantly points to the McAuliffe-McCormick team and says his taxes went up 10% over 3 years. They did. 10% over 3 years is not terrible. Well, he was council president and councilman for 4 years. His taxes in his house went up 21.6% in the 4 years he was on the council, where he had the ability to effectuate changes in those numbers, but he didn't. Would you rather have your taxes go up 21.6% over 4 years or 10% over 3? He was on the council with a vote, and the taxes went up 21.6% in 4 years. So for him to now use a 3-year period randomly, because guess why? That's the 3 budgets that Sharon McAuliffe voted for. Why doesn't he use the 18 years Greg Ficarra was on the council and say the Ficarra-McCormick team? Why doesn't he use the 13 years that Councilman Kyle Anderson was on the council and say the Anderson-McCormick team? No, he's doing politics left and right. This whole meeting, he just read you his resume for the probably 10th time this year. It can't be 10 because it's not 10 meetings, but we've all heard it before. Council meetings are not the point for politics. You're running against Sharon, we get it. She doesn't vote on an issue, I respect that. She can talk about anything, but everything that happens on Main Street potentially could have an impact on her business. Therefore, she's doing the right thing, and she's recusing herself from the vote, and he finds fault with that. Let's hear him defend 21.6% in tax increases over the 4 years he was a voting member of the town council. Let's hear the explanation for that. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Mayor. We will now move to the council agenda portion of the meeting, start with myself. Item number 9, I'd just like to congratulate the 4 newly appointed fire captains at Avenel Fire Department. The captains were sworn in this past Thursday by President Dean Menenti of the Avenel Board of Fire Commissioners. I'd also like to take this time to thank the Avenel Board of Fire Commissioners for their constant commitment to the residents, businesses, and motorists of the 5th Fire District to maintain the highest level of staffing and manpower. The rest of my agenda is in order. God bless America. Council Vice President McCall.
Thank you, Council President. I have several comments tonight. Sorry, just bear with me, please. The first one is number 1, Relay for Life. Join the fight against cancer. The Woodbridge Annual Relay for Life event will be held on June 7th at Woodbridge High School. Get started now, gather your team, and take a stance for the fight to help a cure. Every step brings us closer to a cure. Log on to relay07095.org for details and to create a team to raise money for cancer. Number 3, the Chamber of Commerce. There are upcoming events. Do you want to improve your golf game? Join the Chamber of Commerce for a fun sip and swing event at the Colonial Country Club on April 29th. Also, if you need a laugh, they are holding a comedy show on May 2nd at the APA Hotel. The tickets are $50, which includes finger foods and the show. Lastly, don't miss the annual street fair being held on May 17th down Main Street, featuring many crafters, vendors, foods, and much more. Log on to the Chamber website at woodbridgechamber.com for all details. Number 10, the Gallery on Main is having their annual spring reception on this Thursday from 7 to 9. Celebrate local talent and enjoy a night of creativity. Also, speaking of the arts, on May 3rd, the Art and Music Festival will be held. Avenel, Rollway, and Woodbridge are all coming together, and each destination will be hosting a day of art and music. The New Jersey Transit will hold free train rides between these 3 stations. For information, log on to woodbridgenj.music.com. Excuse me, that's not correct. It's woodbridgenjmusic.com for all of the exciting details about the Art and Music Festival. This Friday, join the Halfway to Halloween celebration at the Parker Press Park from 4 to 9 o'clock. There will be food, vendors, and a Halfway to Halloween celebration dance held by the Halloween group. And then the Woodbridge Fire Department will be having their community night on May 8th from 5 to 8. They will be having come out and meet the firefighters, take photos with them, come and watch some fire safety demonstrations, and enjoy free hot dogs and Italian ice. This is always a great event. The fire department puts all their trucks. They let the kids hold the fire hose and do some exciting things. So it's a really great, fun family event. Go out and they come home with like little fire hats and stuff too. So it's really fun for the kids. It's a great night for the family to go out. And spring is in the air, and the Anchor's Tiki Bar is open and ready to have some fun down there. Log on to anchortikibar.com for all hours and events, and there's a lot of live music down there, so go out and check that out. It's a beautiful location to hang out with your friends and family. And lastly, I'd like to take an opportunity to thank the Environmental Commission, the Sustainable Team, the Township team, and all the amazing vendors for another incredible Earth Day festival. Your hard work, dedication, and passion for the planet is truly inspiring. We are so grateful for everything that they do to promote a greener and more sustainable community. And today is Earth Day, so happy Earth Day. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Council Vice President McCall. Councilman Anderson.
Thank you, Council President. Councilman McCall, can I read this for you?
This is, the Gallery on Main.
Did you read that?
Did I miss it? No, yeah, I did that. The Gallery
Okay,
on Main?
great.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Oh, no. So my agenda is in order. I do want to make a few mentions. One, this weekend, one of our biggest events is the tooling around the township. We have all of our sites that are picked out, but we are still in need of volunteers. What we'd like you to do, if you're interested in volunteer for tooling around the township, please call the mayor's office tomorrow. Jerry will answer the phone. She'll tell you about the locations and the time that you should report to those locations. It would be great to have anybody there. Casey, Mr. Wagner, is there any additional information I should mention at this point?
Has 21 houses lined up this year. At this point, we just need prayers for good weather.
Not looking good.
It's not looking good.
The weather was good today,
I told
but
Pat I did it for 8 years, and it was great. He's got rain 2 out of 3, so.
all right. The indoor projects might be the ones to work on. But we're really looking forward to that. It's a great way for our community. And if you're looking for volunteer hours, especially some of our high school students, great time for some of their groups to get out there for that. The rest of my agenda is in order. I do want to make a mention about Middlesex College. There's a junior chef camp for 2025. There are 5 weeks. So if you have a child between the age of 11 and 17 that might be interested in cooking, join us for hands-on junior chef camp this summer. The campers will have the opportunity to cook a variety of meals and bake a variety of treats. register for 1 week or more. The cost is $3.99, and for 1 week is $3.19. These weeks start June 30th through July 3rd, and they'll go all the way through until August 1st. You can contact WDLL at middlesexcc.edu, and the phone number is 732-906-2556. I also want to mention, if you're out of work and you're looking for some job training, there's a building maintenance certification training that's going on at our Eastern Atlantic states, and that's at our Carpenters Technical Center in Raritan Center. So they have Ocean 10 certification, basic skills, interior systems, drywall finishing, commercial doors and hardware, interior finish, floor laying, and drop-down ceilings. The building maintenance program is an intensive six-week course that's designed to equip participants who are geared for a career as a union carpenter with essential skills for entry-level maintenance and repair work, covering OSHA 10 certification and hands-on training for all of the areas that I mentioned. So you can contact our local New Jersey Carpenters Union Center in Raritan Center, and there'll be classes going on throughout the year. Just want to make that mention. And also on, I do want to add to what the mayor said regarding our pilot program. I don't always like to invoke my day job, but as a county superintendent, I do get exposed to what a lot of towns are going through. Many towns have asked me to stop talking about what we're doing here in Woodbridge Township because of how successful the pilot program has been. They've all looked around and seen that we are building schools, we are adding to our athletic facilities. We're one of the only townships in Middlesex County that have 3 high schools that we have to maintain, 3 athletic fields. So there's 3 baseball fields, 3 softball fields, 3 football fields, all of those 3 soccer fields. Name another town in Middlesex County that has 3 high schools. I don't think you're going to find one. Edison is larger than us. They have 2 high schools. We're one of the few municipalities that shares their pilot money with their school districts. Go up and look. I don't want to name any towns, but there are towns that are really struggling because they're developing, but their municipality is not sharing some of the money that is being brought in through the pilot program. So I just want to, one, commend our council, our mayor, our administration for the use, and our school board for the use of our facilities. Today, I was able to go up and watch my son play a baseball game this morning, and there were 4 games going on. There were 2 JV games, 2 varsity football games, 2 varsity baseball games, a varsity baseball, a varsity softball, a JV softball, a JV baseball, all going on within. If you had a kid on all one of those sports, you'd been able to watch them within 10 feet of each other. But there were quality facilities, and we've had countless conference championship games at Woodbridge Township because of our facilities and what we offer. That not only improves our home values, however, it brings more people to Woodbridge Township. So I do want to also commend Councilwoman McAuliffe for one, the support that she gives to our local high schools through her business, but 2, you being involved in being a business owner and being a homeowner and being a council person in Woodbridge Township, you have a perspective that not a lot of us have on this dais. And what you bring to the table is something that I think is a voice that needs to be heard in Woodbridge Township. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Anderson. Councilman Carr, I know you're up next, but Council Vice President, I believe you have one other thing.
Yes, I forgot to mention, I'm sorry, that the Woodbridge Community Center is offering a free golf game to all moms on Sunday, May 11th, with the purchase of a child's paid admission, weather permitting. So if you're interested in playing mini golf, have something to do on Mother's Day, come out and play some golf with your kids. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Ficarro.
Thank you, Council President. Just touching base on a few items. Number 5, Heroes and Cool Kids last week had their end of the year celebration. Mayor McCormick and I attended the Heroes and Cool Kids, which is high school students mentoring middle school students. The next day was Sidekicks, which is middle school students mentoring elementary school. And the topics are citizenships, substance abuse awareness, and anti-bullying. And it is amazing to see the high school students teaching students. There's something magical about that. Woodbridge Township has been at it for a long time, and it's just good to see those kids in such a happy environment and a pleasant environment, making a difference every day. I'd like to move all the way down to item 14, the Human Rights Commission. Mr. Morgan, I commend you for stepping up to the plate today and talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion. I remember when that was something to be proud of, and now it's almost like you're using bad language when you say DEI. So I, for one, want to keep DEI in the forefront, and I believe that's what makes our community unique, is that we respect everybody. And finally, item 16, the community playground at Merrill Park has been there for a long time. Councilwoman Ehrlich, back in her day, she started that program. It was truly a community project. And finally, after all these years, Mayor Mack mentioned that for me, it's 18 years on the council, so that park's got to be at least 20 years old, I think, somewhere around.
1999, so 26.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to mess with you with numbers and dates. I know better than that. But anyway, you'll see by Resolution 30, I believe, Director Brew, that that's money to upgrade that park. And we did want to keep in mind that it was an active park, not someplace where you just go sit on a swing. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that you're using your muscles, your balance, and everything that you have while you're having fun. So I just wanted to point that out, and I think that's a great resolution, number 30 there. That's some big bucks for upgrading that community playground. So thank you for all.
Absolutely. Thank you, Councilman Ficarro. Councilman Small.
Nothing this evening, Council President. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Small. Councilwoman Meehan.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order. I just have 2 announcements. On May 8th, we'll be holding a mini golf tournament fundraiser for Scarlett Griffin, a 4-year-old from Fords who's suffering from MORQA syndrome, which is a rare genetic order that affects just 1 in 250,000 births. Scarlett is facing major surgeries and weekly infusions that will help her fight this progressive disorder. Despite her condition, Scarlett remains a joyful spirit who loves to dance and sing, never letting this condition hold her back. With your support, we can help her continue her healthy journey and also bring awareness to this genetic disorder. Tickets for the event are $100, which includes unlimited mini golf, buffet dinner, an open bar, and a tricky tray. If you're able to donate a basket to help for this event, please reach out to me and I'd be happy to pick it up. If you cannot make the event but would like to make a donation, you can make a check payable and send to Woodbridge Community Charity Fund at 1 Main Street, Woodbridge, New Jersey, 07095. Please put Scarlett in the memo. Save the date. This year's Support the Troop rally will be held on Wednesday, May 21st at 6 p.m. at the George Frederick Plaza next to Woodbridge Main Library. If you have a loved one or know somebody from Woodbridge Township that is currently serving our country and would like their name announced during our program, please reach out to me so I can include them in the roll call of those who are serving. Also that evening, we will be honoring Woodbridge Township's beloved veteran, Stu Brandow, who who passed away this week, 2 weeks ago. He was 100 years old. Stu was a wonderful man and a great friend to the Township of Woodbridge, and will sorely be missed. For all that knew him, especially our administration and council, who had a soft spot in our heart for one of our favorite veterans from Woodbridge Township. So please keep him and his family in your prayers. And lastly, just a quick shout out to the Colonia Fire Department and the Woodbridge Police Department for helping us safely escort the Easter Bunny down Inman Avenue this past Saturday. The children were lined up along Inman Avenue, and we're so happy to see the bunny. And it's just a beautiful way that our first responders come out and they support our community. And it really is important that the children know the police officers and the firemen in a positive, good way. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Meehan. Before I turn to Mr. Mitch, more importantly, I just want to say thank you for your kind words. Debbie, I know what he meant to you. You always taking him out to Fleet Week on the Friday Memorial Day weekend. Everything, everybody involved, but especially yourself and the veterans and him. I know it was tough, but you worded it very, very just perfect, so thank you. One other thing, the mayor said something that triggered my mind, and Councilman Anderson, without going on, the residents can come and talk about projects, pilots, whatnot. If you just take the last few school referendum votes that we've had, the votes are 3 to 1, 2 to 1, better than 65%, 75%. I still read the paper. Mr. Mitch, I know you still read the paper. There ain't many papers left. But whether it's on the paper or social media, online, you'll see it somewhere. Monroe, South Brunswick, South Amboy, a couple other, they're all losing. They're all losing their referendum votes. Woodbridge, 3 to 1, 75%. It's because it's a zero tax burden to the residents. If the residents had an issue, they'd be flooding the council meetings. They're not, because the debt that's paid off by the income that's coming from the pilots works. It works 110%. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you. Mr. Mitch.
Thank you, Mr. President. The only item I want to touch on briefly is the upcoming primary election, which is June 10th. Just a reminder to voters that June 3rd through the 8th will be early voting. Open up at the Acacia Center, 95 Port Reading Avenue, Woodbridge. This Thursday, I'll be unlocking the mail-in ballot boxes, both here at Town Hall and at the main library, as the mail-in ballots will start rolling out in the mail beginning Thursday. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Mitch. Mayor?
Thank you, Council President. Just want to echo what everybody said about Stu Brando. I had a special bond with him because we shared a birthday. We always called him Stooby-Dooby-Doo. He was stood up for 3 different wars. He stood up for 3 different branches of the service every time they played the songs. He was a veteran's veteran. As recently as probably 3 or 4 years ago, he was coming to council meetings at 97 years old, and I'd say, Stu, what are you doing here? And he'd say, I'm here to protect you guys. And at 97, there's limited things he was going to be able to do, especially when we have a police officer, in the audience. But I wouldn't want to mess with Stu, no matter how old he was. And he is somebody that was special to all of us, as everybody said, and he will be very, very sorely missed, especially the next time the vets get together or to support the troops rally. And Debbie and I are already talking about a way to especially honor him at that event, and I'm sure it'll be something nice, and it'll be well-deserved for everything he meant to Woodbridge Township. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Mayor. Deputy Business Administrator Wagner.
Thank you, Council President. At next meeting, we'll have our standard tax and sewer overpayments. We will have a resolution for a 100% disabled veteran tax exemption, and we'll have an ordinance for a lease agreement at the James Street parking lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Chief Murphy.
Thank you, Council President. I have 2 items on my agenda. They're both for additions of handicap parking, Gill Lane and Islam.
Thank you, sir. Director Darden.
Thank you, Council President. Nothing this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Director Coligansky.
Thank you, Council President. Nothing for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Burke.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda's in order. I have nothing.
Thank you, sir. Lee.
Nothing this evening.
Thank you. We'll look for a motion.
Motion?
Motion adjourned. Meeting adjourned. Thank you. Have a good day.